Hello everybody, yes it is Mitsubishi A6M3 flying somewhere in Papua New Guinea, my first plane in 1/38 scale, and today we finish it. It is a final episode of this build, so all previous series and the review on this model will be available on links below this video. What our main task? To apply all decals and stencils, after that make green camo according guide. First of all, we have to learn marking and stencil scheme. After that, cut decal that you want to use, put it into water, maximum on 15-20 seconds, and apply it on its position on the model. I work with this red dot. You can use preparational liquid for decals before you want to apply them on its place, but if your gloss surfaces are fine, you can ignore it, at least in work with the stencils. So actually this red dot was almost the last stencil. Very good decals from Eduard. Yes, I do there are some mistakes maybe, but it's okay in general. Actually not so many decals, I mean stencils for such a kid. If you take for example MiG-21 from Eduard, no matter in which scale, there will be much bigger amount of stencils. What was not very good, stencil scheme, as for me it is too small, and sometimes you can't understand where some stencil have to be located in several cases. When everything is ready, decals on their places, I use decal softener. It's alcohol-based liquid that sticks securely your decals on a model, and after it's drying up, decals repeat the relief of model. After all decals were placed on this beautiful aircraft, I started applying of second base color, green camouflage. I want to repeat the same camo as drawn in a box, but I'm not sure that result will be so good. So I tried to make something similar. One side ready, now other one. Yes, you may see that I make many mistakes, overbrushing, paint flows through airbrush not very good, I'm not sure what the problem is in the paint or maybe in airbrush. Here appears some defects of painting, also maybe not enough painting skills. Main spots I try to make darker. Repeat all process in several layers. Also additionally add light green background all over upper surfaces. In the same moment I avoid all decals, not paint over them. For this camo I choose such a green color that fits good for Japanese aircrafts, but make them not so greenish or maybe not so kinda emerald. I mix it with the Soviet 4BO green color, so this tone became softer. Our result actually looks pretty nice, like a watermelon. No matter that level of my painting works, I mean camouflage layer applying wasn't very careful, in general result is normal or even good. All markings and stencils is still visible, but wait a little bit. I decided that yes, it have to be a little bit darker green than it actually is. So I use such a blue filter from MMIC. I thin it in 50-50 proportion with the white spirit and cover all upper surfaces of this plane twice. So now I think much better result. We can compare the previous and current painting results before and after filtering, and the second result is better as for me. Okay, cool. After that I protect all surfaces with a gloss varnish and prepare model for washing. This time it will be unusual washing technique. Hood, this part was also filtered in blue, glossed, and now I do wash with the oils. Yes, I saw such a technique on Plasma Model channel, so I decided to repeat something like that. Covered all the parts of this detail directly with oil and brush. Then remove extra oil at first with the ear sticks, and finally remove all extra oils with the napkins. If the layer of gloss coat was fine, there is no problems with the removing of extra oil, and it lay down in all dents, cavities and gaps. And that's directly what we need. Step by step do all this procedure with this hood, but yes, it also reveals some assembling defects. In general, receive such a cool detail. In the end I cover it with a layer of satin coat, but maybe it too contrast, I have to think about it. The same operation I want to repeat with the plain, lower surfaces at first. Look how cool it looks now. All relief is visible, so model covered in gloss varnish, and I choose a burnt sienna oil paint. Just apply it with a brush, covered all surfaces step by step, except chassis bay. After that remove with ear sticks excess of oil and then remove all oil with the napkin to achieve final result. As we can see, some amount of oil stay in all dents, cavities, gaps, in all details that has its relief, so it's play a role of ordinary wash. It is much easier to applying and no problems with its removal. Cool, if you want you can choose instead brown color, black one. On the upper surfaces I make a mix of black and brown colors, so I receive a kinda dark gray, and repeat the same process as on the lower surfaces. It was my first attempt with the oils in a role of washing, and I think it is very good technique for aircraft kits, but not for ground vehicles as for me. In some hard places, such as chassis bay, I use ordinary liquid wash. Finally, work with oils and washes completed, and all previous work were covered and protected with a fine layer of satin varnish. Well, you can use a mix of gloss and matte coat to receive a satin varnish. Looks very good. Small painting defects almost not visible on my plane. Some chassis parts and drop tank already assembled on this plane. Now we can finish the rest of the work. Hundreds of small things left. Kinda removing of all painting masks from transparent parts, applying forgotten somewhere details, painting navigation lights, and so on and so on. By the way, view on finished chassis parts, they are good, but these tires have small defects on the one side, like there has no enough air inside, so we need to hide that defect. Okay, final moves with this kit. You can see that I add some chipping techniques. I simply apply it with the help of such two brushes and a silver paint from Vallejo. Add chipping on all model. Well, actually only on upper surfaces and hood. Also add lights and paint them in clear red and clear blue colors. Applied canopy on PVA glue. And finally additional weathering with a dry brush technique and dry pigments. I decided to be careful with weathering here, so just a minimum of it. And engine also on its place. Now I can put hood even without a glue. It was scratched too with a silver color. By the way, hood changes extremely the view of this plane. And last part from the kit, propeller. Bad news, it has some painting defects because I painted it with an ordinary brush. But the good news that it is workable as a bonus. Let's think about this propeller like it has some weathering instead defects. And that's all, if I not forget something. Phew. Now we can summarize this build and the project in general. If we talk about this kit from Eduard in 1/38 scale, it is brilliant as for me. Because of beautiful detalization, all rivets, all relief is still visible after many layers of paints and varnishes. Also, the level of assembling is high. It is cool in assembling. Yes, it has some small defects and many of them you can hide. What about my work? It seems that I represented on a good level this interesting camouflage and this Interceptor Zero in general. Yes, there are many ways and many places where I can increase the level of my painting and assembling, but in general it looks very good as for me. It is my first and the best one plane in 1/38 scale, and it is a very interesting project, first of all due to assembling and cool detalization of this kit. Highly recommend it if you're interested in such one kit. So, some final views and photos of completed work. You can lay down any comments, any propositions or critics on this project or kit. It is finished, and now we can move to some another not finished projects and for a new one also. Well, thank you for watching, stay tuned, good luck and bye.